Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? My name is Rob Carmona, and welcome back to another episode of Rob the Mic. For this week's episode, I wanted to go over my whole experience with Mooneyes, how the event went, the people that were with me, and all of that. But what I did want to let you guys know, because last week's episode was centered around my Utah trip, is that all of the coverage is done being edited, and it will be releasing over the next few weeks, starting this week in honor of Hammers. I figured there's so much going on around 4x4, so it was only right for me to start releasing that coverage, right? So I know a lot of people that follow my personal page and that see my work are like, wait, where are the lowriders? Where are the classics? None of that stuff is going anywhere, I promise. But this week I'm shifting content a little bit and it's going to be based around 4x4, crawling, everything around that. So thank you guys for sticking around. And also thank you guys for all the love on the work, because it's, again, it's exciting for me to kind of explore more into this realm because it's something that I love to do. But the fact that I'm pushing it out more and that you guys are being so loving and so receptive of it all really means a lot. So thank you guys for the shares, the likes, the comments, every single thing that you guys do, the way you interact. Thank you. I appreciate it. And also, something from last week is the fact that I was preparing for Mooneyes. I didn't think I'd have to prepare so much. I didn't think it would be like a prepare worthy type of thing. But I actually did have to prepare a few things. I was actually getting my gear together. I was able to get a new piece to transport my gear safely. Just really excited about that and just kind of getting that all squared up. And it was funny because the day that I got it, I remember sending it to Albert and I was like, yo, dude, look what I got. And he's like, dude, that's sick. And basically, it fits all of my gear into one place. And it's really exciting for me because I can safely transport my stuff. I don't have to worry about it. Like, to the point where I can just literally throw everything in, throw it into my truck, like literally throw it into my truck and not have to worry about it. Anyone who does any sort of media work, whether it's with your laptop or some sort of camera, video equipment, you guys know how important it is to keep those things safe. And if you can't keep them safe and you need to constantly transport and be moving things around, you know how stressful it can be. So it's nice to be able to have that sort of setup and those sorts of tools and those sorts of things ready at any and all time. Gearing up for Mooneyes, once I had my gear ready to go and I had to think about a game plan, what I wanted to do. And my original plan was to be able to cover both photo and video, but I didn't know what was going to happen until I got there, right? These are all just like pipe dreams. Sometimes I can do both of them, sometimes I can't. It really depends. It depends on what's going on. It depends how distracted I am, at these events, cuz sometimes I'm catching up with people and I'm running around, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it's hard, right? Cuz it cuts into my time to be able to create or to be able to work. But it's all right. Either way, the event was amazing. And honestly, one of my favorite things about the event as a whole was the fact that I got to bring Albert and Yessie with me. I had talked to them about it way in advance, and I was just like, hey, and I had been telling Albert, like reminding him weekly as we were getting closer, like, hey, dude, are you excited for Mooneyes? Like, hey, don't forget about Mooneyes. Don't forget about Mooneyes. And I'm so glad that I did that. Like, I'm so glad that it worked out where they could come with me, because not that I don't mind going to events by myself, because normally when I go out to any sort of event, it's usually me solo. And whether it's in the queue, for the most part, I also attend events solo with that. But when it comes to my work, for the most part, I'm always by myself. It's just me, my camera. I go, I shoot, I meet people. I'm putting myself out there and I'm working, right? This is for my future. This is for stuff that I'm involved with. This is involving my career. So I take it really serious. So a lot of these things, I see it as a job. Like, I might not be getting paid to go to certain things or do certain things, but if I'm asked to be there, or if I catch wind of something and I'm being told like, hey, there's an event here, I take it serious. I take it as if I'm being paid. I take it very, very serious. And it's a part of my craft, right? At the end of the day, whatever I'm producing, it speaks volumes to the work that I produce. So I have to be able to put 110%. I have to be focused in everything that I'm doing. I can't just go, even if I'm running and gunning, like, I'm just over here shooting everything I can. Regardless, every shot is still important. Even if it doesn't come out 100%, it's something that I can look at and say, okay, cool. This is how I'm going to adjust next time. I can look at my camera settings. I can adjust things here, adjust things there. So I take it very serious. To be able to share that with people, it means a lot, right? So I was also supposed to bring Sebastian with me this time, but unfortunately he couldn't make it out because of some work stuff that he had going on. So next year he'll be coming with me for sure. But it was dope again to be able to experience it with Albert and Yessie because I got to share my personal and my professional life with them. And I do that a lot. They're probably the two people that have the most exposure to both my professional and my personal life at the same time. But getting to see me work is very, very different. I'm in a very different mindset, and I love sharing that because again, I don't get to share it all the time with people, and it's to be able to attend something so big because honestly, it's the biggest I've ever seen this event, and the wild thing is that it continues to grow. There's sometimes events like flatten out or it seems about the same. This event never ceases to amaze me. The Mooneyes New Year event is just crazy, and it just continues to get crazier. And honestly, it took us forever to get in. We were around the block. It took us over actually about an hour to get inside. Once we got in, we were golden. Set my gear up and we went running. Dipped out to the event, and it was just shoot everything you could see. I wish I would have shot things that I had seen right when I got into the event, but I was so focused on going to a certain area that I wanted to get there, and that was a part of like a stressor for me. That I was just like, I need to get to this place because in my head I registered it as my point A. So once, honestly, even before I even got there, dude, just overall, it was some of the coolest builds I've ever seen, like as a whole. And a lot of these cars I've seen throughout the events that I go to, but just some of them were able to have a little bit more space around them, right? Because the parking lot's so big at Irwindale, it's huge. But it was amazing. There's so many cars that I haven't seen before, so many cars that I have, and it's always this really big mix of like, oh, that's amazing to see this again, or oh, I've never seen this before. And some of these are parked right next to each other, so you're like, I love this, never seen it, but I love it too. It's really overwhelming to attend events like this, and especially within this realm of car, like lowrider, classic, hot rod. There's so many details in these vehicles that you could spend hours looking at a single vehicle, going through checking out the welds, going through checking out all the fabrication work, the paint, the pinstriping, the wheels, the interiors, engine bay, all that stuff. You can spend forever. So it's my favorite thing to attend it's like I've been telling you guys, right? Like it's where I feel at home. These events are definitely where I feel at home, and getting to go through Saturday with the people that I care about, it's like you guys get to see it too, because I get to expose them more to things that I love, right? And for myself, that's a part of what I do. I love sharing the things that I love with people that I love, because then they get to understand why I love it so much, or why it's a contributing factor to my life, why it's a focus in my life. So if I can share that with them and they can open up a little bit more, then they're like, oh, I get it. This makes sense, And my point A for that event, which was really important to get to, was to go and be with Genocide. It's a team that I look up to. I have the utmost respect for them as builders, as people. And I think as a whole in that entire scene, I think they've had the largest impact on me. They really have. And all the people that make me feel at home there, all the people that make me feel welcome, it's really overwhelming. Shouts to Bams, to Joe, to Gerson, Rivi, Primo, Archie, like everybody around there. Everybody. It's tough to not go there and feel like family. And getting to share this event with them, it meant the world. Like, I don't know. I don't have any other words for it. There's no way to make it complicated. It's as simple as that. Like, it means the world to be with those guys and with their families, and just that entire environment, right? Like, to see that tent and to know that that's my home base. Like, that's what means everything, And it was also tight to meet up with some other homies too, like the guys from Coyotes. You have David Grimm. Got to meet up with one of the homies from Iconics, Eric. And just, again, the camaraderie, it's so different, man. Like, getting to spend time with these people who really care about this. And honestly, the cars aside, it's about the culture. And that's what draws me in so much. And I know I've talked to you guys about this. I don't even know how many times, but I'm going to keep talking about it because for me, it's the most important thing. Again, the cars are cool, but they come secondary. It's the culture, it's the love, it's the passion that everybody puts into the scene. And you can feel it. You feel it when you walk around. You feel it when you're around these people. Everyone's having beers, laughing, barbecuing. It's like, this is it. This is where I belong, dude. This is where I belong. I don't know anywhere else I'd rather be because I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. The way that I spent this past Saturday is one of the best Saturdays I've had in a long time because it's what I needed. It's what my heart needed. It's what my soul needed, to be around people that I love and care for. And also, again, the fact that I got to expand out and bring my brother and my sister with me to be like, hey, this is what I've been telling you guys about. This is what I've been trying to get you to understand. And the fact that they got to experience it firsthand, again, for Albert and Yessie, they're like, oh shit, this makes sense. I get it now. Like, I get it. I see you with these people. I see the energy they have. I see the vibe that they're about. And this is very much you. And also, not to mention, it's a very small detail, but it means a lot to me, is the music, right? To get to hear, oldies, to get to hear freestyle and just everything, and to be in it, because that music makes me really happy, right? Like it's a comfort for me. It reminds me of being a kid. It reminds me of happy times throughout my life because I associate all that music with good things, with happiness. So if I can carry that and continue to carry that and also share and spread that message, why would I not do so? If it has such an impact on me, why would I not want to share it with other people? And it's cool to have people associate those types of things with me. That's also really amazing too. But getting to share my moments with these people is great. Especially, like, I know I mentioned the guys from Coyotes, like David, Grimm. Like, getting to see Grimm, I know I've mentioned him before on the show. Grimm's one of those dudes. You see him and it's hard to not light up. It's hard to not light up. And the fact that I got there, I took my bottle out because I brought a bottle with me. And I was like, yo, Bam's, like, where do I put this? Immediately cracks it open. We're like, dude, we out here taking shots. And I had Grimm right next to me. We're laughing, taking shots. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. Even talking about it, like, not that I wasn't feeling good today, because I woke up and I felt it was a good vibe, just good energies about today. But even talking about this right now, it makes me feel so good and it gives me so much energy. And it's like, this is it. This is exactly it. This is what I'm talking about. And David took a picture of Grimm and I, and it's like that picture in itself, like, I love it because it's me, it's the homie, we're smiling. It's just, you feel it. You know what's going on. It's a good time, right? We both have drinks in our hands, smiling, like, this is it. And another thing too that I want to mention is, at least for the day, and I guess it's growing, which is exciting, but having the honor to be associated with these people, like with Genocide, is just, again, for somebody like myself, like, I look up to them. I look up to all of them, that entire team, what they stand for, what they push. And it's like, to have that association already, and that the fact that it's growing is really amazing. It's really humbling, because I had some people at that event that were looking for me, and they knew, which was wild. It was the wildest thing, because everybody told me it's not like it was 1,000 people, but the few people that I had that were looking for me were like, dude, something told me, and like, I knew to come look for you at the Genocide tent. And sure enough, that's where you were. And it's like, damn, dude, like, I don't know. There's something that feels so good about that. It feels so good to have, again, that association, because I really look up to them. I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of love. So to have that association between the two, that people see me and that aren't necessarily involved in that scene, in that realm, but they say, oh, if these fools are here, that means, and Rob's here, that means that Rob's probably with them. And sure enough, for the people that were coming and looking for me, that's exactly where I was. So to be able to reinforce that, to be like, yeah, this is where I was. How did you know to find me here? But I should have known better, right? It's like, I push this. I have this love. And I think at the end of the day too, and Albert mentioned this, but at the end of the day, a lot of this association and a lot of this friendship that's been established between myself and a lot of these guys, I owe a lot of it to Waxer, because had it not been for him and me being in certain places because of him, these relationships wouldn't have been established at all by any of these people. So, shouts to Wax. It was his birthday over the weekend, and you could feel it, that there was like a presence, like Saturday meant more. Everybody had their pictures out, whether it was on the dash or you know on the back covers. Everyone had their black straps up. Joe had his jacket in his car, and it's just, you feel that presence, man. You feel, and that this is what I was talking about when Albert was like, dude, it's kind of sad, like rolling around and seeing how much, like how people push this, right? Like within the culture, it's just like they have pictures of people who've passed, whether it's in their cars or out. There's people who made like little like ofrendas, like little Dia de los Muertos tables for people who've passed that weren't going to be with us this year, right? But there's also something so beautiful about that, because we get to keep the culture alive. We keep these people alive, because even when people pass away, you shouldn't like continue talking about these people. Don't stop, because when you talk about these people, you keep their memory alive. You keep their energy here. You keep something very positive surrounding these people. You keep that going. And if you stop, that energy dies out. And in my opinion, that's when people die. When the conversations stop, when the names stop being mentioned. But pulling up to the tent and seeing everybody with their genocide tees and saying, they have their Waxer tees, because they have certain tees that were made for his funeral that just, they have like genocide, which is the team name, right? And then under that, you have Waxer. And everybody who's a part of the team, they all have those tees. So to see that representation is one thing, to have your boy's name on your back and to be showing the world like that, like, hey, one, we're genocide. This is what we are. This is who we are. This is what we do. And two, this is our boy. He's forever our boy, and we rep him on our back. He stays right here always. And then again, to walk around the cars and to see the picture frames. And a lot of the pictures are all the shots that Adrian took, Almazan. So shouts to him too for, one, creating these pieces and these memories that everybody gets to carry. Because even myself, like, I carry those memories too. Those pictures stay in my car. And now whenever I set up my car for shows, whenever I do all my cups and all my stuff for my interior, I have his picture right there too. And I still have, my Waxer Forever sticker blasted on my back window. So it's having that impact. So, I mean, shouts to him again, because if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have been in the same position that I am right now. And it's crazy when you think about it, right? Because it's like everything, not that everything happens for a reason, but it's interesting how things happen, and for certain reasons, right? Because something so negative, something so sad really brought something so beautiful that I would have never thought I'd experience, at least not right now. I figured maybe at some point, if I was to continue within the scene, continue shooting, things like that, I probably would have developed some sort of relationship with these people, even just in passing, just, real quick, hey, how's it going, man? It's good to see you, type of thing. But it's different now. It's sharing hugs. It's saying, it's good to see you, brother. Like, it's been too long, and it's having these moments and sharing these embraces. It means a lot. It means a lot. I don't have enough words to express that and to share with you guys how much it means. So to have these opportunities, again, of association and just to be with them, to spend time with these people, it's things that I know I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life. Because, and with things like this, right, it immortalizes it, because now there's people who get to come in here, listen to this show, and understand the importance of certain things and certain people, right? Because Saturday it was so much love. It wasn't just about creating and shooting and things like that. It was about having my brother and my sister next to me, and having this other group of people that I consider family now, like meeting and saying, oh, yeah. Like, I'm introducing Albert, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is my brother. Like, when I introduced him to Bams, I was like, oh, this is my brother, this is my sister-in-law. Because it's like, this is my family, dude. This is my family. I want y'all to meet these people. And every person was like that. You know, and I got to introduce Gerson to them, you know, everybody. And another person that was really important that I finally got to meet in person. We've spoken online and things like that, but there's a difference. You know, we have each other's numbers, but when you meet somebody in person, sometimes that click is so heavy. And that person was Armando Flores. And I've posted his work before. He's a world-renowned model builder. In my opinion, I think he's the best, not just because I know him, but because I've seen his work. And prior to even meeting him and knowing him, I knew what I was looking at, and it was the best I've ever seen. He's created some of the best lowrider classic models I've ever seen in my entire life. And he also has some of the most famous ones, period. Like Gypsy Rose. He's created a ton of genocide cars. Everyone, a lot of major influential builds that are here, he's created scale models of them that are to a T. Paint jobs, everything, details, interior, todo, everything. And this man is the one who's created them. And I finally got to meet him in person. And it was tight because, I mean, one, we recognized each other, and two, he was wearing a Thrashtastic shirt, which was Thrasher's brand. I'm not gonna say it is Thrasher's brand, because we all still rep it, we all still rock it. And I had a tee that I had gotten at his memorial event that was for him. So it was like we both had these pieces that were important to us, but getting to talk to him and understand, like, dude, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk about everything. Let's talk about Waxer. Let's talk about this scene. Let's talk about what you do, what I do. And we jumped into it. And then when Albert and Yessie got involved into the conversation, it was crazy. It just grew bigger. And it's like, this is it. This is it. So it's, again, Saturday was bigger than the cars. It was about the connections, the love, everything that was just getting further and further and further established. And Armando's honestly one of the most amazing people I've ever met. I think what he's gone through in his life, even the brief that I know, the things that he's endured, I think that lends a lot to his craft. And that's why he's able to put so much love, so much passion, so much care into these pieces that speak to people. You know, it shows his dedication to the scene and the fact that he's still in it and that he's still out here doing it daily. Yeah, and honestly, I'm really looking forward to getting to hang out with him more, getting to talk with him more, right? I'm trying to figure out some things so that way I can get a trip to go up and visit his compound and check everything out. I want to see his work again, as if I already haven't seen it, but I want to see it again. Because having really talked to him and spent time with him, it means even more than it already did. Because again, pulling up and seeing his work, just, you know, así de la nada, you're like, whoa, I don't know who this guy is. But this work that's right here that I'm looking at is crazy. And for those of you guys who are curious about his work, you can go over to my personal page, Rob This Boss, and I have pictures from the Pink Motel because he took like a big model piece, and it's all there. You can see a couple of pictures of his models on my page, and they're amazing. And some of it, with the really, really tight part, is some of these like vehicles that he has models of, I have pictures of as well. So you guys can go through and compare them. You can go look at the model picture and then go look at the actual picture of the vehicle, and you'll see how spot on these things are. You're going to see it. Whether it was Waxer's car, you know, there's so many people that, again, that he's done models of, and I have pictures of their cars. So go look at it. Go check his stuff out, because you're going to know. It might be hard to spot because the models, when you look at it at a glance, they don't look like models. It could be an actual photo of a vehicle, but I promise you it's a model. So go check those out. And I can't wait to spend more time with him and get to break down a little bit more of what got him into this and why he's so involved in the scene and why he's a staple. Because there's so many people, even as we were talking, that were passing him saying hello, just wanting to shake his hand. And it's an honor to be able to share time with people like that. Because it's like, you could be anywhere. You could be talking to all these people, but you're over here spending time with me and my family. You know, so shouts to Armando, dude. And if you're listening to this, Mondo, and watching it, however you're doing it, dude, I appreciate you, dude. beyond words, beyond words. And I can't wait to spend more time with you, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next event. And hopefully we can plan up a trip soon. We can link up, talk about all the things. And we got many beers to share, man. Many, many beers to share. And you know what? One thing I also wanted to mention that I thought was pretty important, and I felt like it was an important thing to mention, was that sharing my time at this event with my family, like with Albert, with Yessie, like the people that I love in a scene that I love the most, like how much it meant to me, but also it solidifies why I'm leaning towards this scene and why I'm leaning my time towards this versus the JDM side. And it's not that I don't like JDM stuff. Of course, I'm always going to love it. Every single day I stay looking at it. It's very much a part of my life. It's ingrained in me. It's in my blood. It's in my soul. But the scene isn't it. It's not there. And I know I've said this multiple times too, but the camaraderie isn't there. The family isn't there. The loyalty isn't there. It's just, there's so much that's missing, and you can tell, you can feel it. That's why I don't go out of my way. I don't go to these events. I don't go to stuff like that, because it's not there for me anymore. And I was so sad about it, and I was so bent out of shape, but things change, right? Everything changes in life. Things change, people change, all of that. But there's a reason why you experience the change. There's a difference between seeing change and experiencing change, in my opinion. When you experience change, it's because it was for you. That's what has to happen. You had to see the difference. It's one thing, again, to see the change happening and being like, whoa, versus experiencing it. And right now, I'm in a major period of change throughout my life. Relationships, career, everything, family, my hobbies, all that stuff. Everything's kind of shifting. Some of it, I'm not going to say for the better, but certain things have changed, and I've noticed that. And I'm like, all right, well, there's a reason for that. I have to distance myself from these people. I have to, let's say, get closer to these people. I have to put more time into this side of my work versus this side of my work. And that's been a really big one too, right? Because I know for myself, coming in to the art world as designer, it was something that I always thought this is where I had to stay. It's like the only way I was going to amount to something is if I stayed designing 24/7 all the time, 365. But I have so much training in so many other fields that it's like, if I'm not a designer, it doesn't mean that I'm not successful. And the matter of the fact is that I should be thankful that I have so much skill in these different areas within art. And why would I not explore them? It's time. I feel like it's time for me. It's time for me to branch out, because I was feeling so boxed in being a designer. It sucks because you come into these jobs and you come into these positions that are so coveted, and there's an idea versus a reality when it comes to art, especially within design. So I was tired of being limited. I was tired of having so much skill, so much know-how, so much understanding, and having to kill that off, because we don't want that. We want you to do it like this and do it like that and just water your shit down because it has to be for this reason or for the masses or whatever. And I didn't want to water my shit down anymore. That's why I didn't want to go back to a 9 to 5. I didn't want to be a designer like that anymore. It's not that I want to stop designing, because I'll never stop. Even right now, there's certain things, certain projects I'm working on with friends. Those are fun. They're cool. They're pushing my limits to where I can be free with myself and also have to work with what they're talking about, you know? So that's exciting, but being able to push and further explore other facets of my art or my artistry, that's where the excitement's at. And that sort of change is having me see what's going on. And that change within my work is solidifying everything in my personal life too. Because again, if I feel at home being at these sorts of events around lowriders, around classics, around just the people, my work is what pushed me there. Because I'm not just going to these events and just hanging out. I go to these events and I shoot and I'm creating stuff. So it's my work that's guided me to go here, because I want to capture these moments for these people. I want to document these builds. I want to document these events in every way that I can, whether it's photo, whether it's video. And I think that's also a thing too that I'm trying to get out of my head, is like, so many people push that you can only be one thing. you know? If you're a painter, all you do is paint. Why is that? Why is it that we as people and as artists, why do we have to come like basically put ourselves in this corner where we can only do one thing? Why is that? Why can't we explore different mediums and also be talented and be good at those different mediums? There's nothing in this world, nothing in this life that says you can't go and explore and be good at multiple things, right? Because that's what this is about. You should be constantly pushing yourself to excel, to try, because if you're good at multiple things, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's incredible, to be honest. And I love pushing myself. If I don't know something, I want to learn it. I want to jump into it further. Like, I love creating video. I love shooting video. It's so much fun for me. I love doing it. I love seeing and adjusting and being able to capture things. I do the same thing with my photo. And I'm constantly trying to up my game where I'm learning my software further and further and further so I can understand how to constantly make these adjustments to create the best thing possible. Because I want to show you guys what I see. And I want you to see it exactly how I saw it. That's my whole thing, is I want to create things and show you guys the way that I see things. And I want you to see it exactly, again, how I saw it. Because that's what it looked like when the light hit this guy's bumper, when it was starting to bounce, when it was starting to shift, when there was this crazy flare. And I saw it like in real time, and I'm showing it to you guys too. So that, to me, again, this weekend just solidified all of that and where I'm heading in the direction that I'm heading. So if everything continues to go well, which I'm hoping it does, this is where I'm going to be. And I can see a major part of my life being influenced by this chapter of my life, you know? And, you know, I don't know exactly what I'm working towards. I'm still trying to figure that out, trying to be gentle with myself because of that. And again, I'm trying to break certain habits and break certain mindsets that I've had, because it's scary. It's scary being in the creative field and like not having a steady 9 to 5, because you feel almost like, fuck, I'm failing. But when I'm working and I'm creating and I'm editing, it's like, look, right now it might not mean certain things, or it might not be equaling out to this, but eventually it will. But the amount of eyes, because all it takes is one person to see this stuff, right? And next thing you know, it's contracts here, contracts there. Hey, can you come shoot this? Can you come shoot that? It's part of the game. It's part of the game and being creative. You invest into yourself and you're gambling on yourself. I think it's the biggest gamble you'll ever do. I know for myself, I'm putting a lot of my time into it. It's the heaviest gamble I've done. Aside from going into school, that was one gamble. The other part is venturing out on my own and telling myself that I can do it. It's telling myself that I'm worthy of this, that I'm worthy of this life, right? Because when I see people like on Instagram and like stuff like that, or I mean, that's probably the biggest thing that I use, seeing certain designers being out here traveling, or photographers running around the world shooting, videographers running around the world shooting. And it's like, why am I not worthy of that? Because I'm worthy of that. I know it. I know it in my heart. I know it in my soul. I see it in the work that I create. I'm like, dude, I'm right there. Like, I can do this. I can do this. And there's nothing wrong with me trying and investing in myself and betting on myself that I'm going to make it, because I know it. There's just something good. I just feel it. I don't know how to explain it to you guys. Like, I feel it, that there's good coming and that I need to continue on this path because it excites me. It excites me. It excites me to edit these images, to go through these videos and compile these pieces and just show them to y'all. And I know, again, I know it's going to add up somewhere. I know it. It's hard to explain. I wish I had better words. I'm like completely just blanking out right now for you guys, but you know when it just feels right, and this feels right. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And I felt different times in my life where I've had moments like that, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and this is one of those. And I just so happen to feel like at this age, at this time in my career, at this time in my life, these are the moments that I'm searching for. These are the moments that I need to look for and continue seeking. You know what I mean? And speaking of my work, I know I had talked to you guys about this cruise that I went to on New Year's Day out in the South Bay. And that event, I've been releasing photos from that event, but I was also able to shoot video that day. I was there at the right time. I had planned it out perfectly where I was able to get everything I needed. And if everything goes well, if it continues on track, I'll be releasing that event coverage on Friday. And it's going to be something like the Mooneyes coverage, right? Like just event coverage, but it's just special. I've been working on it for a while. I've been trying to get the music right, trying to get all this stuff right for you guys, because I want you guys to see the best. I want to provide the best. For me, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And I think right now within social, there's so many people that are pushing out quantity, but it's like, that's not what I'm here for. Whatever it is that I'm pushing out, I want it to be the best of what I can push out. Whether it's in 4x4, I want you guys to see the tightest shit. If it's in lowriders, that's it. The baddest. If you're not seeing the baddest, like, I'm not giving it to you guys. Straight up. That's it. And there's so much work that I have that I'm constantly adjusting and going through. So by the time you guys can see it, it's like, oh yeah, this is it. This is like, Rob did that. Rob made that. And that's what I'm trying to get to a certain point, is where people can recognize my work and recognize me for that. Because as an artist, we create for ourselves, but you create these very vulnerable moments, right? Because you're putting your work into the world. And whether you say, I don't care what other people think, to a certain extent, we do. We do care. As artists, we want to be accepted. We want to be heard, seen, felt. So if the things that I'm creating, if they can invoke a certain emotion and give people that sort of relation, like, oh yeah, this is a Rob piece, then that's it. I'm hitting my mark, But I'm really excited to release this next video piece with you guys. Again, hopefully everything goes as planned. It will be releasing on Friday. I'm not exactly sure what time on Friday. I'm shooting for the afternoon, so sometime around 5 or 6. But it will be releasing. And again, I'm really excited to share that with you guys. And I want to thank you for all the love, all the support, not just on this podcast, but with all my creative endeavors. The way you guys respond, the way you guys comment, share, all that stuff, because it means a lot. Even if it's one person, dude. One person that comments like a fire emoji. I'm like, damn, dude, that's sick. Thank you. For one person that shares my work. I got one of my boys, Lucas. He stays sharing my work. I got nothing but love for him. Nothing but love for him. And I can't wait to get out to Tennessee to shoot an event that he's going to be throwing, because that's my plan for this year. I want to try and get out to Riverside. It's an event that he hosts out in Chattanooga. 1, I've never been to Tennessee. 2, I've never been out in that area. 3, I've never been to his event. And it's like, again, with my work, it's tight because I get to create more and more and more relationships and establish more and more things with different people that, not that I never would have connected with, because Lucas and I have a relationship just through cars alone, because WFC brought us together, and just being in that scene brought us together. So shouts to that. But the fact that he has so much love for my work and pushes it and supports it, it's like, yeah, man, this is it. But it's people like him. It's people like him. So again, every single one of y'all that show me love, that push the work, comment, all that stuff, thank you. Thank you again, for my personal, on the podcast, whatever, anything that I do. If you guys are showing it love, I appreciate you. That's what I want you to know. And I was trying to think a bit of advice for the show. I guess what it boiled down to is, don't think so much. If it makes you happy, then choose that feeling and what brings you that happiness. Things don't always have to be so complicated. Find what makes you happy and chase that. If it makes you smile, do more of it. If it brings you joy, brings you warmth, do more of it. Open your heart, open your soul, open your life to that. Because that's what this is about. Life is just a big ass game, and it's you figuring it out, right? But it's the smiles, it's the love, it's the passion, it's all those things that make it what it is. So don't block yourself off to it. Don't block yourself off. So just, again, don't think so much. It's not that complicated. Life, and it's easier said than done, but I promise you, it's not that complicated. Smile more. Find those reasons to smile more. Keep the good people around you. Keep the energy up. Keep love up. Push that out. Always push that out into the world, into the universe, because I promise you that shit will come back tenfold. Tenfold. You will experience things. You'll navigate life differently. And no matter how bad it is, it could always be worse. That's for sure. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for coming for this episode, for watching, for listening, however it is that you're taking in the podcast. Thank you. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully there's something you can take from it. Hopefully it makes you think. If you're thinking about jumping into some creative endeavors, go. Run it up. Do whatever you want to do. Explore. Expand your mind. Expand your heart. Go have some fun. I hope you guys have a beautiful week and even more incredible weekend. I will catch you guys on the next one.